My name is Noelle Ghoussaini, and I am super grateful to be here with all of you this evening and be sharing about healing practices in some of my work. And I'm going to share about two projects. One is SacredSpace, which is an organization that I created, and the other is Magic Bullet, which is a theater project that I'm a co-creator on. And I'm thinking I could talk about each of those for hours, and so I'm really thinking of tonight as just offering a few seeds of what this work is and what it means to me and how it's part of healing, collective healing practices and collective liberation. So as you see on the slide here, SacredSpace curates performances, rituals, workshops, and performances. Go to the next one. And specifically creates creative and healing journeys for both intimate and large groups. The methodology, this is something I could talk about with folks afterwards, perhaps, just to share a little bit, but the 5 real grounding principles that I work with SacredSpace are meditation, ancestral and earth-based rituals, sacred play, communal altar building, and creative expression and performance. Each of those is a world unto its own, but all connected. And if you just want to go ahead and share some of the photos, I'm going to share a little bit about this work, and I share these photos to just offer some of a visual sense of this work, these spaces of creative ceremony and ritual, to share both the intimacy of the work, the quiet moments of tenderness, the play, and the sacredness. And the tenets of this are collective healing, creative intuition, and sacred connection. And so healing for me has so many different meanings. But in the work of SacredSpace, it's really about, the focus is about coming home to embodied wisdom and heart wisdom. Part of that is releasing traumas, systematic oppressions, and system of violence from the body and realigning into what I call our personal and collective sacred geometries. In terms of creative intuition as a practice of healing, it's about relaxing the linear mind, cultivating and being guided by our sense of play and the innate intuition that really lives in each of us. And in regards to sacred connection, this is really practices and rituals to connect with the earth, to connect with our ancestors, the spirit world, ourselves, and each other. It's a practice of coming home to belonging in the web of life. And so over these past many years with SacredSpace, this work has lived at universities, at high schools, detention centers, theaters, community centers, a variety of places. But in the past year and a half, I've really started to ground this work, serving organizations and individuals doing work of collective liberation, who are doing movement work. And specifically uplifting artists from the Swana diaspora and Palestinian artists and organizers in this moment of profound pain and trauma and difficulty in the Swana region and diaspora. And the impulse for this is to really center healing arts as part of our movements. So to integrate these embodied and creative practices into the fabric of our movements. And I believe we live in a world that really privileges the mind, the rational, the tangible. And while I do think those things are important, I don't think they're above. And I think there's a lot of systems of violence that have made it so that those are seen as above. And so I'm trying to create space for the body, the expansiveness of the heart, the intangible, the symbolic, the mystical, the spiritual. And in centering these spaces, the practice is really to feed the spirit, to uplift embodied creative healing practice, and really think of this work of the body and embodied spiritual practice as foundational to how we imagine and create spaces of collective liberation, so that we're not only centering mind and tangible as what will lead to liberation, but other forms of practice and healing, and really making that at the center of our movements.